have to adjourn.
Okay. I mean,
Wherever
like,
we're at,
like 7:50,
Whatever's left, we'll
7:58.
have to just pick up on the next
7:59.
committee meeting.
I didn't think we had to have a quorum in a committee meeting because we aren't voting.
I think you have to have a quorum
You have
for
to have a
all,
quorum to operate the meeting at all.
for any committee meeting. I think we have to maintain a quorum. All right, it's 7 o'clock, and first thing I'd like to do is call the meeting to order. Everyone have the minutes from the January 14th, 2026 meeting. Any changes, corrections, deletions? If not, a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by CJ, second
Second.
by Peggy. All in favor?
Aye.
First thing is public participation. Mr. Carroll, come on up. I guess I put this on my agenda just because, and I know some people have seen emails back and forth. Mr. Carroll, you had emailed me about wanting to use some of our village public property to have a rally. Something that I guess I'm going to preface and say that no one on the board here is involved with. We don't, but go ahead, floor is yours.
Could you
Yes.
state your name to your full name?
Joseph Carroll, Carroll.
Thank you.
Yes, on March 28th is the next No Kings protest that runs across the United States, and I had an idea. Usually I just go to the one in Kankakee because that's the closest one we have. I had the idea that I wanted to set up a small one here for the people who usually can't go to the one in Kankakee or just straight up can't go to any of them, and just do a small one here in some kind of public place I could do it. It would all be personally funded and distributed by me. I'm not gonna need any help with this at all. My dad's gonna help me as well. Personally responsible for me as well. If anything happens, I'll be personally responsible. It would just be a simple 2-hour rally gathering. I'll personally advertise it, and I'll personally provide stuff like snacks, water, first aid if I need it, and both me and my father are CPR certified if anything goes wrong. And I just thought it'd be a really fun event for people who are politically inclined in that way to participate in a peaceful, respectful manner to do our First Amendment rights properly and protest on the No Kings Day.
Okay. I know that I had asked you to look into it a little bit, and I know the mayor had asked you as well. You checked with our village attorney regarding this, and what you'd found that we really can't limit people from, because my initial response to you, Joe, was I don't think it's a good idea at village property because it gives a perception that we're favoring one side or the other, which none of us want to give that perception. But then the conversation got brought up that they're using this room here for or the room next door for a Republican Party deal. So is it my understanding that any public property can be used and we cannot limit them?
That's correct, yep.
So being a resident, you have carte blanche. I guess I would say that we need to, wherever you're going to have it, if you could let Chris know, so that this way, although it's intended to be a peaceful protest, I think we should be letting our police force know just in case something didn't become peaceful.
Yep.
Anyone?
Where are you thinking, Joe?
If we want to do an indoor rally, it would be probably at the Leo Hassett Center, but if it was an outdoor one, which I would prefer, I think Legacy Park would be a perfect place. Probably in that big field right on the intersection of would be Maple, and I forget the other road there that crosses by Sunny Acres.
Can you just verify that we don't have baseball, soccer, or football, anything going on that same day that it would interrupt or?
It would be Saturday, March 28th,
March.
Okay.
between 3 and 5.
Shouldn't, where he just said either, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just so this way we don't
Yeah.
have any conflicts or,
Yep.
I mean, we do have lease agreements with them for our parks during those times.
And if you wanna book the Leo Hassett, that's through our village too, so you might wanna just book that day anyway, just in case, because again, you never know with March weather.
All right.
That's all I had.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe?
Okay, I don't think we have any other public participation
No.
on you. Next item is the baseball program. Jonathan Majerski, if you, floor is yours.
Hey. Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Some of you are new. I've been doing this now for at least 5 years, I think, either me or Stacy Glenn, my predecessor. My name's Jonathan Majerski. I'm president of the baseball and softball league in town. So I come every year. I kind of give you a status update on the league. We've had a tremendous partnership over the course of the last 8 or 9 years I've been on the board. I've been either vice president or president for all 8 or 9 of those years. So today I just want to go through, I'll give you an update on recreational metrics. We do have our part-time travel program, which is somewhat full-time as well. For Raptors, I'll give you an update on that, and then we'll just talk about some future enhancements. I normally have a presentation you guys can see. I apologize, I forgot to send it to Chris last week, so that's on me. But he has it now, and he can get it to you after. If you have any other questions, you can always reach out. So over the course of my time as president, up through 2024, we had increased recreational registration by about 30%. It was great. We hit last year, or 2 years ago in 2024, we had 418 participants, which was phenomenal. When I started back in 2018, 2019, we were close to like 320. So it was almost a 100 player increase. Last year, we had a dip. First time we've ever really had a dip in my tenure. We lost about 70 players. Really primarily 2 reasons. One, and it's a constant battle for us. We always try to encourage our travel coaches to stay part-time because then they can play rec. And we want to keep our rec program going. We had 3 of our teams in baseball, specifically 10 through 12U, take their teams full-time. So we lost about 33 players there, which was a big hit. The other drop was actually T-ball. We had 37 players not sign up for T-ball that did the year before. And it's just, that's the entry level, right? So if you looked at our numbers, a lot of 4-year-olds did not sign up. And it's maybe just parent participation. Those people, we can't really figure out why they didn't come out, just because they haven't had access to our program. But we looked as a board internally, and there's a couple things that we did differently this year. One, we brought into our advertising. So we created, in partnership with all the local leagues in town, we did basically this flyer that had all of our websites, our registration dates, estimated cost for registering, and gave it to the elementary school at the beginning of the year. So they distributed to about 720 kids and families that they could see all the league information. And then what we also did is we got our flyers just for baseball and earlier into the elementary school, as well as, excuse me, into daycares, something we've never done before. So really trying to attack the younger age group to try to get that participation back. The other thing that we've done is we're trying to reach more people, and the younger demographic is now not just on Facebook. They're on X, or they're on Instagram or Snapchat, right? So we've created basically sites for our league on those apps to try to get some of those younger parents to realize, hey, our league is starting, let's get going. So those are just 3 things on advertising that we did. The other thing is we just don't know if these 4- and 5-year-olds, if their families are in need, right? So something we can do is control costs. One thing we did this year that we've never done before is we offered a $25 discount the first 2 weeks of registration. So from December 1st to December 15th, when our registration first opens, we had the $25 discount to try to entice some of these people to come in. And we didn't just offer the T-ball, we offered it to every age range. So we knew the risk of that is short-term revenue loss, because we were gonna, and because we've never done it, we didn't know how many people would take advantage. Usually there's about 10 people that register in December. Most people, we have about 1/3 of our registrants that register in our late registration historically and pay an extra $25 for whatever reason. But we had great success. We had about 160 people sign up in the early registration period in December. So what that accounts to is about a $30,000 loss in revenue for us, but we're willing to take that short-term revenue loss in order for the long-term revenue gain. Hopefully these kids stay in the program for a long period of time. So overall, it's a little disappointing. Right now, we are trending higher. Because we've never done early registration, we don't really know how late registration will turn out. But right now, we're trending to be higher than where we were in 2025. So that is good news. We just have to see how late registration plays out. I know I said a lot. Any questions for me on recreational registration?
How much does it cost to register?
So there's different fees. So, and a lot of our fees are tied to field maintenance. So if you're going to play baseball or softball, it's $125. There's a $50 raffle fee, which you can get back, and then a $25 volunteer fee that you can also get back. T-ball, I believe, is $85 with the same type of fees. So basically they can, as you volunteer, you get $25 back, and you always get that $50 raffle back, assuming you sell your tickets, so.
Jonathan, do you think it's a result of kids not participating, or, correct me if I'm wrong, CJ, but the school's seeing smaller and smaller classes? It appears as though that demographics of our village,
No, yeah, I mean, the
There's
class
not
sizes
as
are
many
getting
kids.
smaller, that's true.
Yeah.
Mantino, I know we have other towns that come in, but
Yeah.
that might be a part of it, honestly, too, to a
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I know the elementary school, which is pretty much the target demographic, that's stayed pretty consistent, about 720 kids. Yeah, I don't know class size though, if those younger ages are lower. But yeah, it's possible. It's another possible outcome.
So if parents have more than one child, is there a discount for the other children?
There's no discount for the other children. We decided not to do that. They only pay the volunteer fee once. But yeah, there's no discount if you have multiple children. Raptor metrics, we are up on Raptor teams, which is good. This keeps kids in town playing, and it prevents them from going to those full-time teams that are outside of town. So we are up 2 teams this year. So last year we had 8, we have 10 this year. We are also down on the full-time team. So we had 3 full-time baseball, we only have 2 now. And then we had 2 full-time Raptor softball, we have 1 now. So things are going in the right direction there, and keeping teams part-time this year. So we expect the fields to be very heavily used, because these part-time teams are playing more and more at our fields, which is a good thing too. We put a lot of effort in our fields. Last thing I want to talk about, and you'll be able to see on when you do get the presentation. So just future enhancements. I talk about future enhancements, what we do every year. Last year we had great partnership. Oh, really? My 8 years we had great partnership with the village and Jim and his staff. Last year, just for the new people, we put up new netting. We modified one of our fields. We put up a new fence, and we put up a new scoreboard on field 3. So great partnership with the village, who helps us with the electrical and things like that. And we're very thankful for all that partnership. This year, big thing that we were originally going to do is there's field 4, which is the most southeast field in Heritage Park. We were going to put a small fence on. It's one of the smaller fields, tend to be T-ball to 8U age level. We did get approval to do that with a warning track. We decided to hold back because some of our equipment was breaking down, so we invested in a new gator. So now we have basically 2. One will be at Heritage, and then one will be at Legacy for Legacy Park. And then, depending on how rec registration goes and finishes, we'll try to do the field 4 fence on the back half of the season. Other things that we're still going to target is field 5, which is our most southwest field in Heritage. That's a larger field. We're going to purchase a temporary fence. The teams that play out there, the girls or boys, can hit it pretty far. And so if you hit it, it's going to go. There's nothing stopping it. So we'll put a temporary fence there. And then there's some work that we're going to do in the infield there. And the last thing that's been on our long-term list is, assuming the league continues to grow and things like that, we'd like to get lights on field 3. We talked about it last year. Estimates for that, we would obviously need full village partnership for that. It's $222,000 is the last estimate we got. So nothing that we need immediately, but something that's a long-term outlook for us. Last thing, last year we talked about field 5 dugouts. They still tend to flood. We know it's a village structure, so we don't really want to modify it or anything by ourselves, but if we were able to add drainage or something and heavy rains, it might help drain those dugouts. Or the thought was to potentially go away from the cinder blocks, which have potential holes that can store birds and bees and stuff like that, and go back to just the regular kind of metal fence that we have on the other
I
dugouts.
thought we talked about that last year, and we approved replacement of getting rid of the cinder block dugouts.
Oh, we did? Oh, even better. I did not know that.
Yeah, we were gonna go away from those completely,
Yeah,
just because of the bees and all the
Yeah.
things that we had going on, so.
perfect.
I think we're gonna build them to match what we did in the other fields. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
As far as the lighting, I know you're not asking for it now, but this fiscal year, I think after our meeting last night, I don't know that, I want to be fair to you and let you know that it's probably not in the budget this year. We've got a
Understood.
deficit of the budget right now that
Oh.
we've got to address that, so.
Yeah.
I just want you guys to know that lights probably are not in the,
It's okay.
yes.
Well, Jim, I appreciate it.
But we did commit last year to the dugouts, so.
You did. Yeah, you guys were a huge help last year, so we're thinking, and yeah, we're not asking for anything this year. But yeah, just things that are on our mind and our roadmap.
Okay.
That's all I had for you. Any questions for me? I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I do have one more question.
Oh,
Do you have anything to help the families who can't afford it? Are there
We-
any
we-
scholarships or?
we do, yes. So, actually, yeah, last year we installed a scholarship for kids going to college, so we do give to one girl, one boy. And then, yes, we will do, I don't know, we basically title the scholarship or credit. If the family's in need, they can reach out and we'll allow them to register at a lower cost or no cost.
Good.
We don't advertise it, but, families have reached out. The last 2 years, we've had a few individuals,
That's a good idea.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. All right, thank you very much. Have a good one, everyone.
All right, next item is turf at the square on Second. And during the last board meeting, we voted, or was defeated to have that done. We've got turf that's sitting in Peatone. And maybe this should have been clarified a little bit, but we, excuse me, we have a contract that we are going to have to pay the installers at $38,766 if we don't move forward. Really, the only thing that needed to be approved was a change order of $47,450. And that was a direct result of us moving the location from the center of the square to the south side, because then we're removing fences, we're removing concrete, and we're adding some more turf. But what do we want to do, guys? I mean, we have to do something, or we're going to be out the money, and
We've already signed the contract for 40,000, correct, or 40, whatever it was.
$37,766. When we bought the turf.
We paid for that.
We paid for that, and we did not pay for the installation because we didn't know when we were gonna do it. We were withholding it. So that portion we're already committed to. But we either have them.
So it's only 40,000.
If we don't wanna do the 40,000,
Instead of the
47
80,000 that it looked like, when we got the number, I mean, it looked like it was obviously, I mean, it's double, so it,
Right.
Right.
I know Mike couldn't be here this morning, but he did approach the owner of this business.
Yep.
And they're gonna sit down and talk about what they can do to lower that cost.
Okay. I guess that, I'm all in favor of lowering the cost. I don't think that, my feelings, I feel as though that they're taking an opportunistic approach to our change, but we're kind of stuck. And it's either that or else we do nothing, we take the turf, put it in the rafters, and we pay $38,000 for them not to do anything with it.
Is there only one company that installs this type of turf?
The problem
Can't we get bids
is, we have the contract with this company.
for
For
$38,000?
$38,766.
Right.
So we're gonna owe them that. If we go to another company, that's kind of where I feel like they're taking a little advantage of us with the change order. I'm not thrilled with that, but not a whole bunch we can do.
Why don't we see what Mike finds out when he sits down and talks with him?
The thing that, so when we did this back, how many years ago was this?
The original turf, it's like 7 or 8 years ago.
Now, when we do this stuff, do we get 3 bids on it, or do we just take the first one that comes to us?
No, I think that all went out for
I
bid.
think that went out for bid, I don't think we did get 3 bids. I mean, we don't always, that's not a mandatory thing, so.
Yeah, but we have
I
to
think
put
this
it out
last
for
round, I think we
bid.
got 2 on this last round, so.
What's the company's name Barry's gonna talk to?
Synthetic turf,
What is the name of the company?
Synthetic turf,
synthetic turf.
It's out of Peatone, right?
yeah. I mean, it's kind of a niche market. There's not a lot of them available that are gonna wanna come to our town. I mean, just, we're at their mercy, right? But, is Mike meeting with him in the near future, do you know?
Yes.
We met with them last week. I think they're gonna try to tighten up a little bit on some of the demo that was planned. One of the big price increase is the fall zone under the zip line. They're gonna install a material underneath the turf to make that a safe fall zone for kids to play on that. So that was a big hit, and he even said, like, it's, you know, he pays $40 a square foot for this stuff and yada, yada.
And that was expensive when we put it in before the stuff. I mean, it's a safety issue.
Yep.
The other option we could do is put a border around and put rubber mulch, but then what ends up happening is that rubber mulch is all over. You've got guys every day during the summer with blowers cleaning that, and if that rubber mulch is all over, it'll be a mess.
Yep.
So
And that
isn't
park
there-
gets used a
Isn't there
lot.
cork there or some type of a,
Yeah, that's
Cork
a,
product?
yeah, that's a,
That's
poured
the
in place
foam.
rubber mulch is what that is, so.
And that's what they're replacing, that's the big ad order, because if you look at the far east side, there's a split seam, and it's, I mean, we all think it's relatively new, but that park's going on 10 years old.
Yeah,
So-
it's starting to separate in other spots, it's just the wear and tear, I mean, everything's,
Yeah, Peggy and I looked at it, and it was like, all right, we're gonna make this all beautiful and leave that. It is a lot, there's no question about it, but the amount of use it gets
Yeah,
is,
there's a lot of children.
A lot of use, and again, all the events, I don't know, it's nice to have that look as nice as possible. I know it is costly, but I'd rather have that look nice and shiny and pay a little bit extra. Cause that's when people go by, they're like, wow, that square is nice. And again, it gets all the usage, so it's not like, I'd rather have that than grass, where if the kid was grass, I mean, they're gonna tear that thing up
it
quick.
gets torn up extremely quick.
And then it doesn't look
then
always
you're gonna be
nice.
dealing with the water fountain having
Correct.
mud in there and,
Yeah.
I mean, that'll be a problem. And when people wanna know why we don't want golf carts parking on the turf, or why we don't want kids leaving their bikes on the turf, well, this is the reason why, it's expensive.
Correct.
But, is everyone okay with, Mike met with them already?
yeah, last week.
So is it a reasonable expectation that we could hear something within the next 2 weeks
I
where we
would say,
could,
any day now, I should hear something from you.
we could put it back on the agenda for our next committee meeting if we can, and then put it back on the agenda? We gotta decide what we wanna do, but I think we're kinda stuck. And it's not a place where we wanna be, but
Well, let's see what Mike has
See what
to
the
say
numbers
as well,
are
then-
with that,
then
but
we'll put
again,
it back.
I don't know, again, in my opinion, I'm willing to pay a little bit more for that because of it's where it is and the usage, but I know we're watching it cost, but that to me is good cost in my mind, but, you know, we can see what the price drop is.
okay. Square on Second resurfacing.
Yeah, I put this on there, this is something Jim and I and Bruce have talked about, so we reached out to Bruce and told him to go ahead and start putting numbers together for what it would be to replace that. They did some patching last year, and it's just at an age where the patching no longer matches. So if you look at it, it's pretty rough. I think they're gonna get prices on both stamped asphalt and stamped concrete to see what it would be, just, again, to figure out what we're looking at money-wise.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see the price on that. My experience or my opinion, wasn't overly impressed with the durability of the asphalt. I would rather see us, if the cost is similar, to go to concrete there, and if they, I don't know, even if we paint the Mantino logo on there or whatever, but it seemed like we were always patching that, and it always, every time they patch it, it doesn't look as nice.
I would, my suggestion or opinion would be maybe shrinking the amount of stamped, whatever we do. Maybe if we're gonna do all of Second Street, maybe just normal asphalt through Second Street, nothing through the alley, and then just focus on the square itself, just to reduce the price. The logo, yeah, that was tough. I mean, we just had it redone there 2 years ago, and, yeah, it's, we're battling the elements here, and everything's stacked against, you know, that area, or that kind of product, so.
the good news is, it's such a popular place to be. It's one of the greatest parks we have. People love it, we get huge crowds there, so the wear and tear is showing from all the crowds.
Yeah. I mean, that's-
Concrete would last longer, obviously, right? And be
Yeah.
more sustainable too, so that's something we can keep in mind too, long-term cost of.
And I think the base for the asphalt is deeper than what you would require for concrete, so it should just be the surface. We shouldn't have to do anything with the base.
That's good.
So that'll keep the cost a little bit
That's
lower.
something that I know it's a bigger project, but is that something that you guys could do in-house or no?
No. I would love to.
It was worth
but
it,
that's-
it was worth the question, right?
That's a big time operation.
Somebody
Well, even
marked
with
this
that
down, Jim
concrete,
said
Joe,
no.
They can stain that, you know.
That's what I was saying, like, we could stay and get the logo in there, but the asphalt, it just hasn't held up, and, you know, we
And
got
I
dump,
watched
we got
it.
garbage trucks going up and down, that hurts it, and with all the activity, you know, that, again, part of the reason why when we have vendors that wanna put stakes in our asphalt, we're like, no, we can't do that, you know, that's,
I looked into it a couple of years ago. There's companies that have these mobile CNC machines that etch into concrete. We could do something like that and then have to paint that in. There's a couple options out there. We
Well-
wanted to try to recreate that center emblem again, you know, otherwise.
I think that look is nice, I just
Yeah.
don't like the durability
Yeah, just
of
get the
what we
prices
had.
and we can
Yeah,
probably open that.
yeah, can you guys get some prices, so we know, again,
Yeah.
we're dealing with budget issues, so,
Hoping to have it for the Public Works meeting
Okay.
next week.
fair enough. All right, South Oak Public Works Building. Again, this is something that was defeated at the last one. Mike last night said that his opinion has changed. With the deficit of the budget, is this something that you guys are interested in, or what are the thoughts of not wanting to potentially get rid of it? What would you guys like to see us do with that building?
Maybe rent it out, I don't know.
Okay,
Have we all been to the building? I think that would maybe help too, because I think when Mike, when he realized just how much work would have to go into that thing, and that's why he's like, we should just put it up, I think was when I talked to him, was he just realized it wasn't worth it from our end to like put so much money in to renovate. I think that's what changed it. And that's why when I went by the first time, that's why I was in favor of it too, because I don't feel like there's anything for us to do on our end, because it's gonna cost so much to get it back to where we'd want it.
well, and I think maybe I heard wrong. I think maybe one of the things Mike was thinking was the same thing that we had thought about in the past, making it a community center for youth or some indoor facility type, and it's just not conducive to that. The money would cost ridiculous amounts, but Peggy, have you guys both been out there at all?
No.
I haven't been out
No,
there
I
in a
think
long time.
we should go out there.
I think it'd be a good idea, and again, we can revisit it at the next committee meeting and see, and even by putting it up, it's not saying we're selling it. Let's see what, it's allowing us to see what sort of money it could bring in. Maybe there's someone who just can't live without it and wants to
We
pay
got an
us.
appraisal on that, didn't we?
We got an appraisal on it, but
What
that,
did it appraise at?
170,000.
170.
And I do have two individuals that have reached out and asked when it'll go up for bids. They're interested in it.
and again, if the bid comes back and it's not what we are happy with, we don't have to sell it.
Right.
But I guess it doesn't hurt to have the numbers, is the way I'm thinking, but I didn't know if you guys had a different idea for it.
Well, that was my point too, again, at least let's put it out and see what the numbers are, and then of course, if we feel like it's too low, we can always vote it down and say no
Exactly.
this time.
So
but-
get an appraisal, is that what you guys are saying?
We already did an appraisal.
Did the appraisal.
Yeah, we just want to, like, what offers from other people that want to buy it, but if you guys want to check it out too before, we can push it to the next committee and.
Put it at the next committee, you
Yeah.
guys get a chance to take a look at it and then go from there.
We'll give Jim a call.
Okay. Maple Valley Emergency Access Road.
So this is the, basically half road on the west and north side of Maple Valley. It's, obviously was required by the village when they built that, mobile home community. It's basically just half a road. There's curb and road on, basically half of what would be required. It turns out that, for some reason, when they built the, manufactured home community, that road was put in on property that actually, the owners to the north, it's on their property. Was never dedicated to the village. I really don't know why. I researched everything I could find on it. But we've got people now starting to park motorhomes on there and trucks. And so it's something that we need to get ownership of so we can clean that up, so that emergency personnel can get through on that road. The owner of the property to the north that this is on obviously doesn't want to own it since it's not servicing his property. So I sent this to Joe, and the key was that we needed to have them give us an annex, or a plat that shows that it's just an emergency access road. So we're not responsible for building out the other half of the road if that property to the north develops. And as long as we've got that on there, it would still be their responsibility. But this is also the road that the golf carts from Rock Creek use to get into town. That's another reason why he wants to get it switched over to the village. He does not want the responsibility of golf carts traveling on his private property, which is reasonable, so.
And that makes sense. I guess the question I have is, the whole road, the entire road is not owned by the village at all?
Correct. It's all on private property. It should have been deeded to the park when it was developed. I have a feeling that maybe that entire parcel was one piece at the time, so they didn't care because the same owners owned the whole thing. Now they have two different owners, and even though it services the manufactured home community, it's on the private property to the north, so that's why.
How
But
long
that-
ago was that made or created? What are we talking here?
30
Probably like
years?
25 years ago,
Before any of us were,
2001?
yeah.
but is that road, that section of road is not to village specifications, correct?
I believe, well, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was built, that at least that half was built to our specifications.
Okay, so if we,
Except for, I will say, there's not drainage in that road.
so if we accept it or we take that property on, we're gonna put a recapture clause in there for the road improvements for future development? Because,
Well, that's the key is if anything develops to the north and the west of that road, they would have to
right,
improve
the
that road.
recapture.
Right. So that was Joe's key is to make sure that we're not on the hook for that development.
Okay.
What if we
And-
don't, are we talking about an exchange of money here,
No.
buying it?
No,
No,
he's
Just
no.
deeding it over to
ownership.
us?
He's just, yeah, switching ownership to us, and as long as we have that labeled as an emergency access road only, we're not responsible for improving it. Whoever develops would have to improve it.
So it doesn't go all the way to the next road, it stops.
Correct.
So the golf carts that are using it now are driving through grass?
They're driving, well, there's a gravel road there, and that's something I still have to work out with Kerwick, because they are still technically driving across
Somebody
his
else's
private property to get to that end of the road, but he's less concerned about that as, having them travel that whole distance on his property.
I've been on that before, I've seen it.
So I biked out there when I
Yeah.
went to bike to
Yeah, I
South
mean,
Creek,
it
that's
gets
how you go
used,
that
and
way.
I
Yeah.
think it's a good idea. I just wanna make sure that we don't
Correct, we don't have to put
accept,
money on it, no,
accept
yeah.
something, because that stretch of road will be expensive.
Correct.
Yes.
I can see how a fire truck or something could get where it needed to go a lot faster
Yes,
and get water to a fire, so.
yeah, but that cost would be a lot, a
Well,
lot.
as long as we get all that stuff, then I think we're fine with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Next thing, Rooter Park discussion. This falls under the category of trying to do something that, and I think our goal as a board is always to try to get a few more amenities for our residents, doing it at the least potential cost. That park used to be used for soccer, is no longer really used by anyone. Can't put a lot of structure in there because it's a,
Floodplain.
floodplain. So one of the ideas I had and kind of brought up was, we lost our golf course several years ago. What if we put a 3-hole chip and putt sort of deal in there, and, we got turf, remnant turf left from the square on Second, that we could use, or is it something that we could do in-house with our public works? It's not gonna be a true golf course, so expectations can't be at that level, but we mow the grass there anyways. Can we do something where residents can use it and it would get used by somebody?
What about a chipping range?
Again, that's what I was,
Something, I don't.
put 3 holes with like a par 3 chip.
Similar to like KCC?
Yeah.
KCC's got that like free 3-hole thing out there if you're out there, something like that. I mean, it's not the best condition, but it's good practice, so at least it's walkable for most of the town to get there.
That's kind of what I was
Yeah.
thinking, like, hey, it'd give a use of that park.
The turf you mentioned is not conducive to being a green, because it's shaggy, and,
Okay.
ball's not gonna roll across that turf very nicely.
And again, I don't know if we have the ability to.
It might be good just to have to stop it. I don't think anyone, I'll be honest, it's like, we're golfers. I don't think anyone's gonna go out there and say, well, let's practice putting here, what's that? But chipping and hitting irons, I think that would be good. Like, that's something anyone could do.
I'm
What
just looking
about,
for
what about
something we
driving?
can do.
People are gonna wanna go out there and hit balls.
Well, we're gonna have to have signage that says, yeah, no driving, like, we'll have to limit that, what's that kind of stuff? Do we have to put up any kind of net? Is that gonna be close to houses? That's what
Again,
I'm saying,
I
too.
haven't, I'm bringing it up. If
Yeah.
this is something that us as a board are interested in, then we can go back and start
I think it's a great idea to do
looking
something
at,
with that.
looking
that's
at
in a
designs,
floodplain.
what we can do, and
Correct.
I would ask, you know, you and the mayor to have input, because I don't know much about golf, but.
I have another question to bring up. Is there any way to make it accessible so that I could get on my golf cart and go there on my golf cart? Because
I
there's
think
no
it's
way to get there.
accessible right now.
Yeah, you just gotta go all the way down, you take all the way down close to Ace Hardware, maybe one more down,
By the-
you can jump across the other neighborhood and then you can get there.
We
Like
aren't
a
supposed to
car
be
wash.
crossing Route 50 unless we're at a
You
lighted
can, direct,
intersection.
cross of it, you can, at an intersection.
That's how like
what I
Division works too,
understood.
because you're not supposed to be on Division, but you can do a direct cross across Division.
Chris, can you verify that?
Yeah, that's why we put the bridge in down there, so that the people in the manufactured home community can drive their golf carts into town, so they
I know
they
that,
do.
but we also had a rule that said that you had to cross only at a lighted intersection.
No, you can't, because the lighted intersection, at least like, County Highway 9, 3rd Street, you can't cross on it. You
I know
technically
that.
can't cross that one, so, no, you can cross Route 50, you can cross County Highway 9, you just can't drive on.
You're gonna have to show me that in our rules, because I'm sure I read that we could not cross Route 50 unless we were at a lighted intersection.
Okay, Chris could look into it, I mean, that's my intention, is that people would be able to drive the golf cart right to it and utilize it, you know, but, again,
That's
it's,
I like the idea.
it's not something that I'm probably gonna ever use, but it's,
I'll use.
well, that's
will
kind of
too.
what I'm
I'll
thinking,
use, or
like,
I'll send my kids there, you know what I mean? Like, I
That's
got
what
a
I'm
bunch of
thinking,
used,
it's-
I got usually 100 used golfers, and then my team's about 20, like, that's at least, hopefully something that they can go to chip in town.
There's a lot of people who would like to save the money
Mm-hmm.
going to the golf course to hit their balls.
And I don't have to drive the 10 minutes to go to the
Right.
golf course and chip around if I just want to chip around.
So we good with,
I think we
Just
look at it, and
proceeding,
I
if
would
you
say-
guys
I
could
would
take
say
a
leave
look at it and-
I'll start with picking out ideas. That's the only thing I would think of for the houses right next to it, because God forbid we want to do anything with that.
Yeah,
yeah,
How that would look.
replacing windows.
take,
Well, that's why I
take a
don't-
look and see,
Yeah.
and, I mean, the argument with that is, if people was playing baseball out there, we don't have a net, and we couldn't really require one, so.
But
just take-
we're not putting a field,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
you take-
That's what I'm saying, like.
You
from
take a
everything's-
look at it,
Correct.
you guys are the golf experts, but I think it'd be a good idea to provide an amenity that shouldn't cost us a bunch of money, as long
Mm-hmm.
as our expectation isn't, you know, the best of golf courses, because it's not going to be.
Maybe we should see what the citizens think as well, or like we were doing, talking about that yesterday, CJ, getting different,
Yeah, that could be part of the
Opinions
survey
and-
too,
yeah.
that we could push out too, of like,
And
Ideas.
in with that, I guess I'll say that when we go and ask the citizens what they want, for every one person who's in favor, there's gonna be a person who's
well,
against.
just the
We're not gonna
majority,
keep- yes.
you know, I mean, just an
or get
idea
ideas.
to
And it's,
what-
this is a way
what
of
we could do
giving,
out there.
giving
Or-
an activity that is to a different demographic of our community that maybe is not being served.
We could also form a committee of golfers in town who might want to help with this decision
Yeah,
and help design it.
I'm 100% in favor of it. As long as the expectation is that
It's least
it's not
costly.
gonna be a
Correct.
golf course,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, it's not gonna be a country club.
Correct.
It's, you know, it's gonna be,
So, almost like a practice area.
yes. So we'll start moving forward with that.
are we
to
gonna
get some
have to
design.
build
And
that
keep
up
in
at all
mind,
out there? or what do
CJ,
you
you have to
think,
keep in
Chris?
mind, it does
Do what?
flood. That's a floodplain. When
Well,
that
that's what I'm
floods,
saying,
it really
correct.
floods.
It is what, you know what I mean,
That's
as
what
long
I
as we
thought-
can, it's better than
mean, as
nothing.
far as-
We can't build it up though, because
We
it's
can't build it
floodplain.
up.
Okay,
Yeah, it's gotta stay, I mean, we just had to
Because
just
of
create a
the
couple spots
creek.
and maybe mow it shorter in a few areas, or.
I'll say, I got about 20 minutes just. to
All
get
right,
it
why
done.
don't we, I'll adjourn my meeting, the last two pieces, or last three pieces, we can move on to another committee meeting, Chris, so this way we
Yep.
can get through the other one, so I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
second it,
Uh,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
All right, I will open up the planning and zoning committee meeting, as we all saw the meeting minutes from January 14th. Was there anyone that needed to be changed, or is it all good? If so, I'll take a motion to approve the planning and zoning meeting minutes from January 14th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There's no public participation, correct?
No.
Okay. All right, first one on here, it looks like short-term rental license ordinance revisions.
Yeah, provided everybody with a copy of the red line version from Joe Kinkar, that shows the changes that the mayor is requesting.
Well, I went through again, and actually, I was meeting with Tiffany Parpart for something different, but I brought it to her, was it two? It was not this much deletion. When I talked to her about it, again, I just wanted to get someone else's opinion that actually has it. She was pretty good with everything, other than on 325.3. I just went through, I said, what are things on here that like aren't really needed, or in her mind, like, is not as important probably. 325.3, letter G, she said, that's probably not needed, total square footage or description of room, that's not necessarily a big thing, or at least, she said, maybe just get rid of description of each room. Kind of the same with H, I don't think we need H, I don't really care how they identify each room to a point, I don't think that matters, any kind of way of like, if they have 5 bedrooms or 3, what does that, indicate to us?
I don't think we need 325F either. I mean, I don't care where they advertise. the
True,
stuff.
yeah, I mean, we're gonna find that out anyway either, with it. So honestly, F, G, and H, to me, are not that relevant when they're applying. Everything else you said makes sense.
I don't think we need C either. I mean, I'm okay with not having C on there of people participating in the management of it.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah, as long as we have the owner, you're right, that's fine,
right.
that's fine. And then obviously the license fee, we all agreed, if we could do 0, let's do 0. I mean, that's, no one's gonna probably be against that. 325.7 then, that was the other kind of big area. Like she told me, Airbnbs don't give the address of the other person, of the people staying at their place. They can't even see an image of them because of like discriminatory laws, was that. So she said they'd only ever have the name and telephone of the renter and known occupant, which I think would be enough in our minds of being able to find out who they are. And again, if we need that information or if we request that information, they can reach out to Airbnb and they can provide that to us too. With that, I don't know if B is really needed, if we need the vehicle license plate of every person.
Where are you?
325.7. The records that they have to keep.
7B is the dates that they were occupied and rented.
Oh, sorry, there was 2 Bs on mine, I have the old one, sorry, yep, that was already gone, never mind. 325C, I don't think we honestly need to care about what the total rent was. I mean, we're not charging the tax right now, so, I mean, if the mayor wants to charge $250 for a house, good for her, like, why does that matter to us?
If we're not taxing it, I don't care.
That's why I said, I don't think we need C, we don't need to care about the price. E, she said damage to short term, that's more on their side if anything happens, that would be like to Airbnb for their insurance, so I don't think we need that. Cause again, that wouldn't really affect us at all.
I don't think we need D either.
Or D, again, that's on them for that.
Well, the same way with F there, I mean, they're gonna keep the properties clean.
Which one's F? I think that's 325A.
325 F.
Are you on 7, alright? You're on 8. I'm getting there, I'm on 7,
Oh, you're
325.7.
still on
Yeah,
7.
but I agree with that. And then honestly, for 325.8, C, D, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I don't think we need. Like, if they have the bed linens, if, you know what I mean, like, that, we aren't running the business. That's not on us to decide, that's on the customer to decide with that kind of stuff.
I'm fine with
All
that.
we need to know, for that is, again, making sure they're not doing it hourly, which I think that's what A and B pretty much say, is like, we aren't allowing them to rent out their house for an hour, whatever.
That's 325.8A,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes,
We want,
325.8A, that's what I wanna keep. I'm
you
saying,
want to
like-
keep that one in.
Yes, and she understood that, of course, we don't want hourly, 325 325-8B also seems very similar to that. That's kind of same idea of like not allowing, again, the hourly kind of thing is how I read that one too.
Now, I'm fine with, and I think the mayor's concern, and I'm not putting words in the mayor's mouth, hopefully, but I think one of the concerns was if someone checks out on Sunday, can someone else check back in Sunday night? I don't care about that. I care
Correct.
about they're renting it for 3 hours.
That's what this, and I think,
Is that correct? Is that?
Yes.
and I think that allows for that description, because it's not like, the mayor you can change the day of, just like a hotel could, it's just, we aren't allowing that person to just rent it for 2 hours afterwards, kind of thing. That's how I read the language, it wasn't that they couldn't do that, it's just, when they're renting, it has to be for a 24-hour period or for that kind of stuff.
325-8 is crossed out, but you're saying,
Well, that's on this suggestion, it's not our actual, current, thing we have.
okay.
So I would like to keep A, B, and then it would be, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. So the rest of them. Other than, so from C to, is it I? C to I, to me, I don't think. That doesn't protect us. Like J is important because again, that way they have some kind of adequate off-street parking, that's making sure that they're not gonna take up that stuff. K, again, that's just saying if we ever had to request it, they would provide it. L, again, just giving the days that provided it, M's insurance. And then N, O, and P are all just kind of laws, just regular violation laws, just, and again, all that would only be if we ever had a request, which I don't think.
So you're
hopefully
saying
ever.
get rid of C through J?
Aye.
D, E, F,
C through I. right?
H, I. C through I.
on
So what, you
325-8.
want I in or out?
I, you can get rid of it. In my mind.
I think you might want.
Oh, I
to
guess,
keep
you
it.
know what, I'm sorry, I do have that still in, I apologize. That one I do have still in. And-
Because that's, you don't want someone renting, in the.
Sorry, yes, no.
Self-storage place
No,
renting
you're right,
that
we
out
do
as
want
a-
I, that's not what I meant, I'm sorry, up to
Yes.
I, yes, because you're right, I don't want someone renting like a factory and then we're renting it for a house. So, sorry, C through
H.
H. Because I don't even think for H, I don't think Airbnb allows anyone to rent if they're under 25.
You can rent to whoever you want to.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm saying low, but like the platforms that most people use, Airbnb, stuff like that, they won't allow someone to rent if they aren't 25 when they're filling out like the form, that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't mind keeping H in there, but changing it to 18,
Okay.
just because, I mean, all of our VRBO people, we haven't had an issue with yet, but we get someone, and they wanna rent it out, high school kid wants to have a party, and the other person sees money, they could agree to it.
So you're wanting to keep it to 21 or?
No, I
keep
think 18, I mean, because if you're 18, you can go and get or a hotel room, right?
Yeah,
And you're capable of contract at that time.
I wasn't gonna say a word today, but I am gonna say this. I would never rent to anybody 18.
I know you wouldn't,
They have
and
to be 21.
so do you wanna leave it, or do you want, I mean, the mayor.
Just telling you how I feel.
I don't mind 21 either because
Again,
that prevents
This
like
isn't, this isn't for you, Mayor, that
that
that's
prevents like a
the key thing.
19-year-old who has high school friends. I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, you can't rent a car till you're 25. We already have these all weird
but
laws
here-
anyway.
I was married at 18.
Oh, my grandma was married at 16, so
That
I
was
don't.
then, that was
So I don't
then,
know,
this is
that's a
now.
difficult, that's a difficult thing to,
I'm
The world's
fine.
a different
I
place
don't know.
now.
I'm fine with lowering it to 18 or keep it 21. I don't. That
It's
doesn't
up
matter.
to you guys, I'm fine with either 18 or 21, but I'd like to keep it in with an age no
That's fine.
lower than 18.
yeah.
That's fine.
So 18,
That's fine.
Is there an answer for 18 or 21?
I think
Well,
let's go
so
with
then, all right.
let's
so
go with
then-
18 if that's a hotel room.
Then it would be whatever the Airbnbs decide
And
to
again,
do. I mean,
Discretion.
and again, we're not saying that they have to rent at 18.
Right.
That's not our laws. Like if the mayor says nope, that's their ownership. It's just saying
Right.
Yeah.
we're saying in our minds, yeah, that you can if you want to, but the owner of the house can do whatever they want to. They can always go above and beyond what we're saying.
okay?
And that's all I had when I went through was Tiffany.
Leaving J in.
Okay, I'll modify this and send it back out to the board. And then we'll have it on the agenda for the next board meeting in March.
Okay.
So, if you go to 325, 3I, did you say in or out, CJ?
When I talked to Tiffany, she was fine with that.
Keeping it in? Okay, because I was looking at that and I couldn't decipher how that's different from 325A. They're both requiring insurance.
325,
Well, yeah,
325
one
3A or
325 8A seems to be doing the same requirement as 325 3.
I think though that that's when they apply. 325 3 is when they apply, they have to prove to us that they've paid it through. I think that would be maybe more for after.
Okay.
I don't think it hurts us.
No, if we're keeping it in, I
Correct.
didn't want to strike it in one place and
No, I
require it
know.
in another.
I know what you're
place.
saying.
It seemed confusing.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or questions on that? Okay, perfect. All right, really quick, village growth discussion. We're gonna continue, onward. Obviously, we've been talking about this a lot, with stuff. So the last couple of weeks, I've just, again, been brainstorming my own ideas of like, how do we do this? What does this look like? What do we want? So obviously, we're gonna keep having these conversations that we're doing right now today. But then I thought, like, I need to meet with people outside of us that have other backgrounds, opinions. So that's like, for example, why I met with Tiffany Parpart. I'm trying to think, I'm gonna meet with some other business owners. I'm gonna meet with the chamber. I'm actually meeting with Gina Lamore, with that too. Just their opinions. What does it look like? I'm trying to talk to people of like, we like what our town is, but how can we grow it in a way where we don't feel like it's overshadowed? I mean, you ask my grandparents who've been here for 50 years, 1,000 was small to them. Today, to me, 10,000 is small. I mean, it just is when you kind of look around with stuff. But what can we do to kind of grow a little bit, to maybe get a couple more businesses? And I'm not just saying chain restaurants, but attract small businesses, restaurants, things like that, that want to come here with the numbers to do that. So the number that I came up with in my mind, and I think this would help hit a lot of like the qualifying things, like 1,000 to 2,000 more people. Get us up to 11 to 12,000 from where we're at 9,300. It's not a huge grow, but then when you look at all these chain restaurants, they have their formulas. Usually it's right around 10 to 11,000 that they need to hit, and then they'll be open to kind of looking.
1,000 over what period of time, CJ?
I would think in the next, that's the thing. In the next, to me,
3 years.
3 to 5 years, I think it wouldn't feel like too much. Unless, I'm just trying to, I didn't honestly.
Just throwing out ideas.
Correct, yeah.
basically.
I think that's a number that would make us grow moderately and not feel like we're overwhelmed, again, on how much we can do that. I feel like that's a way to kind of do that.
So my question is what do you think we can do to grow to that? Because I've been on the board 20 years, and our population, I think, last census changed by 6 people.
Yeah.
Correct. And I think the
6
biggest
people?
thing,
6 people over 10 years.
I think,
10 years.
I think the biggest thing that we need to do is reach out to a national builder, as we kind of talk. Again, Kerwick, I've started to talk to Kerwick.
I've been talking to some, trying to see what we can do to get their interest, why, and the initial reaction someone's gonna tell me is Northwest Indiana, it's because of taxes, and okay, that's one thing. But Oswego is growing, and the national builders are going there. How can we get them to have the same interest here?
Correct.
And that's something I think as a board, we have to be willing to, they're gonna want some incentives.
Oh, and I think
They're not
it
gonna
would
come
have to
here.
be, yes.
They're not gonna come here without something. What are we willing to get?
Well, that's why I want to almost have those conversations, because again, I have no idea. I want to talk to them, like, what do they want? Like, what incentives are they looking for in a way that then we can come back and talk of, like, things we might be open to.
Chris, your experience, have you dealt with any national builders, things that they commonly look for? They're gonna probably look for no building permits?
Yeah, you know, again, our building permit fees I don't think are ridiculous, but, be honest with you, the most expensive part of a residential building permit right now is the school impact fees. It's way more than what our permit fees are. So maybe that's something the school needs to consider. Would they be able to reduce those or suspend them for a while? That would help.
And CJ, that may be something, as you're talking with them, you know, you're talking with them on a couple other things, bring it up and say, hey, you know,
I'm talking, at least here it's on the list too, because I want to talk to the superintendent of the school
Right.
anyway about the gross idea of like what, and I think they should be, and again, I'm saying this from a teacher, they should be open of this idea because they know that the numbers are getting smaller too.
So there's two impact fees, a land impact fee and a building impact fee. Seeing that they're not planning on building any new buildings or, you know, that they're even considering selling their land, you know, I don't know that they need those impact fees anymore, but I don't know what their debt is on the new buildings they've already built, so maybe
They
they
don't
still
have
need
any
that.
debt.
Okay, so maybe that's something that could go away, that would help. The other thing is the minimums. You know, we have a 1,350 square foot for a single-family home with a two-car garage. Sometimes I think maybe smaller houses with a single-car garage is appealing to young people and old people both. So maybe if it's going to be a project, the board could consider maybe changing those requirements.
I think over time, we've all been, you know, we grew up with age, bigger houses, nicer houses, better quality, but that's what's happening in Oswego. I've noticed they've had smaller housing and, you know, I used to think it was crazy to think about having a smaller house, but now as I'm becoming an empty nester, I'm
Correct.
thinking, I'd be perfectly content with the two-bedroom house, right?
Can we give anything, I mean, our planning commission, what do they do? Do they give us ideas?
Oh, we
or-
could, we could ask them to put that on their agenda to have a discussion for
Yeah,
them too.
I mean, why don't we
that-
start there?
That was it too, yeah, I mean,
I think that might not be a bad idea if we could get, our plan commission, if they have a next committee meeting to look at reviving, giving us a recommendation of, you know, our building size requirements. And we're probably, even though when I first got on the board, I was fighting for the anti-monotony. Unfortunately, monotony is what big box builders build, right? It's gonna be the same house 15 times, but
I think again, when we get deeper in of like building two, it's the broad appeal. I mean, I'll call it out. Stonegate, those houses sell like that,
Yeah.
like that, like that. Like my parents had to put in an offer day one. Like it was not like a thing. So like, it's the mixture approach of, do we need these single houses smaller? Plus maybe we try to build that too, to again draw them in with that. So I think we could be open to multiple. We don't have to just do one general thing, but maybe like half of it's that, half of it's this.
Well, let's reach out to the planning commission. Let's get their input on all this and, you know, go for there and we can all brainstorm and.
Yeah.
The other thing is
Try to
that
come up
the
with
market
something.
has changed over the last 10 years and fewer people, especially young people, don't want single-family homes anymore. So
Tiny
rental
home-
projects
tiny home
with,
community.
Like, but I mean, they can't even afford a single family home. That's not only thing too, it's that they can't afford it. All right, I'm sorry, I do have to go.
that's right.
Can I do something? Why don't you maybe do some research on who you're trying to attract? Like, when I heard about the baseball thing, eventually if the youngsters don't come in, the baseball program's gonna die.
Well, that's why I had this idea because of schools. It's like, as a teacher, we need to pump our numbers up. And I think we have to be open to also, I think we just think about all with this too, who will come here? Again, we are a very small town. Again, you can kind of picture what a small town is, demographic wise, racially. If we do open this up, we could have some more diversity come in, as long as we're a town. I mean, it's 2026. I feel like hopefully we're more open-minded, but that's just something to be aware of too. And if we do get down the line here, that it's not necessarily maybe in your mind, the ideal person. It's people, we want to just bring people into the town. Is that too? I think it's a good thought. Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Are we adjourning then?
You
Yeah.
need to adjourn, yeah.
Yeah,
Motion
I'll
to
make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second?
Who first?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome. All right. Have a great day, everybody.
You too.